These are creepy TikToks that will make you rethink your whole reality.
Force as live ammunition. Author of Frankenstein, Mary Shelley, is said to have lost her virginity on top of her mother's grave. She also kept her dead husband's heart and carried it around for 30 years until her death in 1851.
75 Americans have died. He said, that's too many. And he signed that day a national security order ordering all troops out of Vietnam, U.S. troops. And then a month later, he was killed.
County 911, what's the address of the emergency?
Yes, ma'am. I just shot my daughter and shot all my grandkids, and I'll be sitting on my step, and then when you sit here, I'm going to shoot myself.
I'm back. It's your boy Fittie, and today we're looking at this compilation together. So grab your water, your popcorn, your fruit snacks, whatever you want. Just remember to subscribe and like the video so it gets pushed to more people. My last video had a like goal of 100, and y'all boys destroyed the like goal. Absolutely obliterated it. We touched 1,000 likes on that video. That's crazy. I just said 100 and y'all 10 times that. Damn. So in this video, I'm asking for 200 likes. I don't think that's too crazy, I guess.
Creepiest place in every state. Iowa, Stony Hollow Road. Known as the most haunted road in its state. Outside the city of Burlington lies a long stretch of gravel, which is known to be haunted by the ghost of a woman named Lucinda. It's said she jumped off a nearby cliff after her husband left her. Ever since that day, people claim to see her ghost on the side of the road. Legend says if you ever see her holding a rose, run. As if she lays the rose by your feet, it means your death is near. Would you want to visit?
So Lucinda jumped off a cliff and expect me to go visit her? Hell no. If I see someone running towards me with a flower, best believe I'm running the complete opposite way. Either that or we're gonna have to fight. And you know, I'm not really feeling the fighting mood today, so I'm gonna just have to run.
Morbid Facts, Part 50. Actor Jake Lloyd played young Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars The Phantom Menace. But at the age of 12, he retired from acting permanently due to bullying and destroyed all of his Star Wars memorabilia. Years later, he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia after being involved in a high-speed car chase with police. In a Mexican prison in 2020, two rival drug cartels decided to put their differences aside and play a friendly soccer match. Somehow the game ended with 16 people dead. The first suicide hotline was started by a British priest named Chad Verrat in 1953. He decided to start it after directing a funeral for a girl who took her own life when she had her first period. She thought she contracted an STD and had no one to talk to reassure her that she was fine. In 2020, a Jesus statue in India had water mysteriously dripping from its toes. Worshippers flocked from all over to collect and even drink this miracle water. But soon enough, the source of the water was found to be a clogged toilet near the statue.
Ew, motherfuckers was really drinking clogged toilet water. That's absolutely disgusting. And I low-key feel bad for the girl that died because she had her first bleeding situation. You know, if she had someone to talk to, I think she would still be alive to this day.
Disturbing facts you wish you could unhear. Part 3. This video shows a man playing Dance Dance Revolution being recorded by some people making fun of him. 6 months later, the man Adam Lanza would murder his mother, then drive to Sandy Hook Elementary where he would murder 6 adults and 20 children. A 46-year-old man found and attacked a 13-year-old boy because he was killing him too many times in a game of Call of Duty. There have been numerous cases of people's intestines being sucked out of them by vacuum toilets on airplanes. So if you want to keep your insides, make sure to stand up before flushing. A man once donated his mother's deceased body for scientific research. He later discovered that the research facility sold her body to the US Army for $5,000 where they would blow it up with explosives.
Yo, that's gotta be one of the most disrespectful things I heard all day. Bro said, you know, I'm gonna give my mom's body away to science, see if they can cure cancer, you know, some crazy disease that, you know, mankind might have. But instead, they sold it to the US military to perform explosion tests. And what's up with all these men killing children? Like, come on, bro.
These are videos humans were never meant to see. Okay, so we all know about the ancient pyramids in Egypt, but have you ever seen what it looked like from the top? Probably not, but you're about to, and there's just something about it that's extremely unsettling.
Oh yeah, aliens definitely built that shit. Do you think that?
Okay, so there's only been a couple documented videos of people on top of the pyramids, and that is one of them. The pyramids have been around for 4,500 years, and the fact that they're still standing is just mind-blowing. But what's more mind-blowing is that somebody actually got to the top of it and gave us such a spectacular view. Some Egyptians back in the day definitely stood there at some point in their lives and enjoyed the same exact view, just in a different world 4,500 years ago. So let me know if you would try and risk it and get to the top of the pyramids, because this person did and got a once-in-a-lifetime view that none of us will ever experience.
All right, I got 2 questions for you, right? So, would you climb to the top of a pyramid? Put that down in the comments. But also, do you believe that the pyramids were created by aliens, or do you think that the ancient Egyptians were the ones to actually fully create all the pyramids? I know there's a lot of conspiracies around it. There's a lot of speculations. There's a lot of people like, first of all, aliens actually could not. First of all, the Egyptians, there's no way they could get. So, like, what do you think? Put that down in the comments. I specifically want to know your opinion.
Japanese yokai, Kamikiri, the barber yokai. Kamikiri are small creatures with a scissor-like beak and has hands like razors. They are small enough to sneak quietly through open windows and doors. The main goal of a Kamikiri is to cut a person's hair off. They will hide under roof tiles and will wait for someone to pass by. Often, the victim is asleep in bed when the Kamikiri attacks. In the olden days, they are feared because having long hair was the only fashion back then. But nowadays, with different hairstyles being popular, they are no longer feared.
I mean, I have dreads. They're kind of long, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to take these hoes out soon, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't think you cut my hair off though. I'll dead ass like backhand him if he ever try to. I'm sleeping, you know, I just see some shit, I'm like, what? Don't do that. I'm trying to cut my hair. I don't give a that you look like a bird or an alien.
Morbid facts.
Part 47.
Bruce Lee's son Brandon was accidentally killed while filming for The Crow when he was only 28 years old. A prop gun was loaded improperly, causing dummy bullets to fire at him with the same force as live ammunition. Author of Frankenstein, Mary Shelley, is said to have lost her virginity on top of her mother's grave. She also kept her dead husband's heart and carried it around for 30 years until her death in 1851. In 2014, Harvard University discovered that 2 books in their library were bound using human skin. One of the books is called Destinies of the Soul, and inside the author left a note that read, "A book about the human soul deserved to have a human covering." In 2015, a woman claimed that she could smell Parkinson's disease. To test this, doctors gave her 12 shirts to smell and 6 of them were from Parkinson's patients. She correctly identified the 6 shirts but also chose one from the control group. 8 months later, that person was diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Damn, imagine being able to smell Parkinson's. That should be crazy. But nah, I'm coming for the girl that freaked on top of her mom's grave. That is crazy. You're bugging. And I don't know what should happen to you, but like, that's crazy, bro. Why would you do that?
So I've seen videos that Japan wanted to make real life Pikachus, and they have. Nintendo wanted to take this project. For the past, I'd say 7-8 years, they were extracting DNA from rabbits, hamsters, and eels. And I don't know what's the rate from each, but they made an animal that looks like a Pikachu.
No way.
It also has the red cheeks, yellow body, and like black ears and like a black nose, black eyes. 5 years later, they have made this Pikachu. Okay, the eel DNA that they extracted is because they wanted to give him zapping powers like Pikachu.
Why give
electricity, like real electricity?
Why are you like weaponizing this shit?
They got this. They made this animal.
Yeah.
And they wanted to test it out. It looks so cute. It's like so innocent, you know? Bro, wallah, it looks exactly like Pikachu, bro. They brought this thing home. And they wanted to test it out as a pet in a household. He was so like vulnerable, cute, you know? One day, these people go out, they come back home, their dog is dead. This thing is so territorial, bro. This thing is so violent, and then people are like, if we created Pokemons and we made Pokemons real, yeah, we would be doomed, bro.
Yeah, I think as humans, we kind of learned that once we create anything outside of what's already in our planet, there's a high chance that there might be some casualties involved. I like how they all laughed. They're like, yeah, so his dog died. I was like, yo, y'all brave for putting that online, because I know some people will be mad about that. Unless you have dark humor, of course.
Not yet, bestie. Also, we're playing the rake today. A real photo of the rake himself that was captured in the woods. Sit on the edge of your bed in a dark room. Rake, I offer you my... If you hear the growling, run.
Join the line. If your dog starts acting like this, it may be warning you of an evil presence. A tattoo artist in Sydney, Austin, was woken up at 5:30 a.m. by her dog Coda. Terrible. What exactly did Coda see that caused her to act in such a way? Let me know what you...
Damn, Coda was terrified. I mean, that's understandable. If your dog does end up seeing like a spirit or something, maybe they'll act like that. So if you believe that animals can see spirits, put it down in the comments and let me know your experience. Maybe you had like an experience with it. So if that's the case, let me know down in the comments, because I do read my comments. So like, I'll see what you have to say.
Breaking news, after more than 50 years, the woman in the box has been identified. The woman's body was found wrapped in plastic in a trunk on October 31st, 1969 in St. Petersburg, Florida. Witnesses told police they saw two men arrive in a pickup truck and place the trunk in a field before driving away. For years, detectives searched for missing persons report that matched descriptions of the victim, but they had no luck. The case went cold and she was buried under, quote, Jane Doe. In 2010, they exhumed her remains. However, they were, quote, too degraded, and again, the case went cold. But in late 2022, early 2023, they were able to get a hair strand that had not been tested. This identified the woman as Sylvia June Atherton from Arizona. They said she had 5 children and absolutely no ties to Florida or St. Petersburg. Detectives say she left Tucson with her children and took 2 of them to her ex-husband in Chicago. She was never seen by her children again. Authorities say they now know the trunk that she was found in belonged to her. They also know that she remarried and her husband never reported her missing, and he passed away in 1999. They said, quote, so you can see there's some inferences here that we have to kind of fill in the gaps. Authorities say at this time they do not know who took her life. They say this is where amateur sleuths come in and they are asking for the public's assistance in helping. After being identified, her daughter says she feels, quote, relief. I'll keep you guys updated. What do you think? Drop.
Not gonna lie, that's actually terrifying. Imagine being obliterated and placed in a box, never to be seen until you do get seen. Oh my god, that'd be terrible, bro. RIP to her. Prayers to her fam.
Somehow, these pictures just keep getting worse and worse for me. So this is a still that was captured on the motion camera that was stationed in Janelle Churg's living room. It is the man that police definitively believe attacked her on this night. Neil lived alone, and a lot of people live alone. A lot of people have security cameras. We all kind of have these things, right? But you can only imagine when she woke up to an alert on her phone, and this was the person that she saw on her living room camera. As the story goes, by the following morning, her sister had actually arrived to pick up Janelle because they were supposed to go to a farmer's market together. She found her sister's head sitting at the front door of her apartment. This man who was seen on camera was never identified in the case. Actually left a lot of people wondering, you know, if her security cameras captured this, why did her alarm never go off?
I don't even know. Maybe it was a malfunction, you know, maybe like it got disarmed. But that's crazy. Imagine you just see your freaking sister, brother, daughter, animal, mother, father's head on your doorstep. Yo, that would tweak me out, bro. Hell no. Hell no.
Loopsy Gamers has been facing some really creepy paranormal events in her home lately. In this first video that I'm about to show you guys, titled Witch Shapeshifts into Cat, she captures something really strange on camera. Check this out.
Estamos viéndolo. ¿Quién eres? Tú no eres un gato. ¿Qué pasó? Ay, ¿qué es eso? Vete de aquí, ¿quién eres? No mames, ¿qué es eso? ¿Quién eres? Te estoy grabando, ¿quién eres? ¿Por qué estás aquí en mi casa? ¿Tú no eres un gato? Tú no eres un gato. Te ordeno que te vayas de mi casa. ¡Ay! ¡No manches! ¡No manches! ¿Qué es eso, Regina? Se abrió la puerta. Se abrió la puerta. Se abrió la puerta. ¡Uy, güey! Se abrió la puerta. ¡Vámonos!
Strange, isn't it? But it gets stranger. In another video, she's playing heads and tails with her daughter when all of a sudden, this happens.
Sarita, Sarita, ¿mi esposo me es infiel? No. ¿Gina tiene novio? Varios. ¿Sabes? Sarita, ¿alguien de los que te ha hecho una envidia? Como porque, ay, Regina, la tiras que sí, la quieres aventar hasta la otra cuadra. Tal vez. Tal vez.
Yo, her que paso meter was going off. Nah, that was crazy. I don't know. The cat meowing sound kind of boofed. It's like meow. Like it sounded like me honestly trying to make a cat now noise. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Another true crime story of how they were caught, and happy Mother's Day. Charles Neiman and his wife Devin went into a convenience store to get snacks when they were approached by a male. The man wanted to rob Charles and instead shot him twice, killing him. The wife described the attacker as a younger Hispanic male. The convenience store footage had a camera inside. Though grainy, it did show some information. It showed a gray pickup truck enter the lot. A front passenger opened up the door for a back passenger who was the suspect. Found a black t-shirt in a nearby alley and 2 .40 caliber shell casings. Officer noticed a square firing pin which indicated a Glock. Well, a man in Colorado heard about the crime and actually thought he encountered the suspects before the crime took place. He said he saw 3 men in a gas station with a Chevy truck with Louisiana plates. Police didn't have much else to go on, so they used an investigative tool called IBIS, and they entered the casings into the Integrated Ballistic Identification System. Very similar to the DNA databases and the fingerprint databases, but it's for casings and bullets. They take high-definition scans of the bullets and casings, and they can use those to link to other cases, such as cold ones. Bullets and casings have unique markings that can help police identify the gun used. When police entered the casings into the database, there was no match, and the case went cold. Police got a small amount of DNA from the black shirt, but it was a weak sampling, and they weren't able to get a full profile. 4 years later, police tried to use the IBIS system again, but this time they expanded to other states other than Oklahoma. This time they got a match to a Glock that was recovered in Denver, Colorado from a previous crime. But the man who had the gun had a solid alibi and was not a suspect in the case. This is because guns used in crimes, especially with gangs, travels all over. So police traced the Glock serial number and it came back to a police chief in Louisiana whose gun was stolen. Turns out a gray pickup truck was stolen that same day in Louisiana. The victim with the stolen pickup truck told police he noticed a cigarette butt in his driveway and he didn't smoke. So police collected it and they were able to get a DNA hit off of it. DNA came back to a man named Zach Wilson. When police showed him a photo of the victim, he started crying in the fetal position and quickly confessed to the crime. He said he had gone on a multi-state crime spree with his half-brother and a friend. It was his half-brother Timothy D's turn to commit a crime. He robbed the victim, freaked out, and actually shot him out of panic. He said they later fled to Colorado and he tried to sell the gun, but somebody else actually stole it from him. Zach and the friend got 25 and 35 years, but the half-brother who shot the victim got life with the possibility of parole. Casings in a cigarette butt solved this case, and that was how they were caught.
Them motherfuckers was level 1 criminals. Straight up. Level 1. So you gonna commit a crime. You know, you weren't planning to kill the dude. Obviously the robbery went wrong. That's what happened to XXXTentacion, a famous artist that lived in Deerfield, Florida. Robbery gone wrong. You know, understandable. But if you gonna start stealing stuff and doing stuff like that, bro, how you gonna throw a cigarette butt in this man's driveway, bro? It's better they got caught than they didn't. But I'm just saying, you could have handled that situation a little bit differently. But honestly, you killed someone, so that's the karma you have to pay.
This man killed his daughter and then her 6 children or his 6 grandchildren. This is the 911 call made by Don Spirit after committing these murders. Just listen to this and I'll explain the whole case after.
Gilchrist County 911, what's the address of the emergency?
Yes, ma'am. I just shot my daughter and shot all my grandkids, and I'll be sitting on my step, and then when you get here, I'm going to shoot myself.
What? The address that you're at, sir?
2550 Northwest, 25 Paris, Don Spirit. Every one of them are dead.
You said your name is Don Spirit?
Yep.
All right, Don, what kind of gun do you have?
It doesn't matter what kind of gun I got. They're all dead, and then when you get here, I'll shoot myself, and then you figure out what kind of gun it is.
Damn.
How long did this happen, Don?
I don't want to hear it, man. I'm done with every thing. Just bring them out here, that's all. You got all the kids are dead in the house.
Okay, how many people?
6 kids, 1 adult.
Don Spirit was the father of Sarah Spirit, who had 6 children of her own. Don then murdered his daughter Sarah and his 6 grandchildren, including the youngest being a baby. He was very manipulative and abusive, and he eventually just exploded. He shot all the members of the family, and the baby's cause of death is still unknown to society, which is very disturbing. And the crazy thing is, he already killed his son years prior. But it was ruled an accident.
Bro, what's good with these grown men eliminating children? That to me just gets me mad because these kids are innocent. You know, their brains have no clue what the hell is going on. They're just like, oh, hi, dad. Pow! Gone! No matter what, he's going to either be gone, in prison, or dead. I wonder what happened to that guy, though. Man being haunted by werewolves, like every single episode, I swear to God.
Just saw somebody up here, and it's a scary.
I'm never coming back to this theater.
I was just down here, and I was back down there in that corner right there, and I literally just like can't. What the fuck?
Nah, theaters can low-key get a little bit creepy, but I like theaters. I don't really go into the back part. I just go watch the movie with a bunch of people, and then boom, I'm out of there. It's like, oh, go home, you know, good movie. Oh, you saw that new Barbie movie? Yeah, I saw the new Barbie movie. It was pretty fire.
Another true crime story of how they were caught. In 2008, in Columbia, Illinois, Chris Coleman and his family started receiving threatening emails and letters. Chris Coleman, an ex-Marine, did security work for a popular ministry, and the work started receiving threatening emails as well, such as, I will kill them all in their sleep. 6 months later, the Coleman family received a letter in the mail that was not postmarked, so it was hand-delivered, and it said things like, this is going to be your worst nightmare. Then in May 2009, Chris woke up early to go to the gym, and later couldn't get a hold of his wife, so he asked his detective neighbor to check on her. At the house, the detective noticed an open window in the back, and he went inside and discovered something horrific. The detective noticed red spray paint all over the walls, saying things like, bitch, you are punished. He went upstairs and found Chris Coleman's wife and 2 children dead. An autopsy would later reveal that all 3 of them had been strangled. Detectives then did a routine background check on the husband, Chris, and found out he was having an affair with his wife's good friend. Detectives actually flew out to Florida to interview his mistress while they were still interviewing Chris Coleman about the crime, but the mistress didn't give much information. Police had collected samples of the spray paint and learned exactly what type of spray paint it was, the brand, the make. Digging into Chris's financials, they learned he had actually purchased the same spray paint on his credit card months earlier. An autopsy had also showed that all 3 victims had rigor mortis, which is the stiffening of the muscles, which generally takes place around 2 hours after someone stops breathing. This was a red flag for detectives because Chris said he went to the gym, and an hour later, all 3 victims were found in rigor mortis, and this conflicted with his timeline. Forensics believed the time of death to be at about 3 in the morning, which means Chris would have been home at the time. Then detectives did what's called a KQ analysis, where they looked at writing samples from Chris and also from the threatening messages. Detectives found out that Chris would often put the apostrophes in the wrong place, and the threatening messages did the same thing. They learned Chris spelled the word opportunity wrong, and he put words together such as good times instead of separating them. Police believe Chris did not want to get fired from his ministry job for committing adultery, and that the only option was to kill his family so he could start a new life with his mistress. CEO of where Chris worked also said that he hadn't missed work in 11 years and called in sick the day before the murder. He was also seen on a neighbor's camera playing catch with his sons the day before the crime, and had been planning this for at least 6 months. Police believe the mistress was not involved and she was not charged, but Chris would get life in prison, and that was how he was caught.
Honestly, bro deserved life in prison. This is the 4th story of just hurting kids. Like, what did the kids do, bro? Like, come on, bro. Bro really wanted to end his beautiful family just to start another family with someone that's probably gonna cheat and leave him anyways. So, like, bro, what are you doing?
Kept hearing noises while working in an abandoned facility, but he would soon find out going there was a mistake. A plumber named Corbin Finn was called in to fix a leak at an urgent care facility near north of Houston. Strange enough, the place has been recently abandoned for unknown reasons. As Corbin made his way down the empty halls to find the source of the leak, something hiding in the building made itself known to him. Whoever or whatever was hiding in the building rushed down the stairs towards him, but no one can be seen. Confused as to who or what could be inside this closed down facility, he investigates, and by doing so, this happens.
Kind of looks like the fucking back rooms. It looks very culty. There's a stage up here. It looks like a couple of altars next to him. Creepy. Okay, now I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Man, I don't blame you. I'd get out of there too. I'm like, nah, too many sounds. This place is too creepy, airy. I'm not messing with it. I'm just gonna leave. So I kind of don't blame him, honestly. So round of applause to that guy.
Have you ever heard of the Japanese urban legend of Rokurokubi?
Think I have.
Rokurokubi is a type of yokai, a supernatural creature from Japanese folklore. They are depicted as female spirits with long necks that can stretch and contort at will. They are known for their ability to appear as normal humans during the day and transform into their true form at night. According to legend, Rokurokubi were once humans who, through various circumstances, became cursed with this supernatural ability. Some stories suggest that they were cursed by the gods as punishment for their misdeeds, while others suggest that they were cursed by evil spirits. Rokurokubi are often portrayed as seductive women who lure men to their deaths, using their long necks to wrap around their victims' necks and strangle them. Other legends describe them as mischievous spirits who delight in scaring people and causing chaos. Despite their sinister reputation, not all Rokurokubi are evil. Some stories depict them as victims of their curse, longing to be freed from their supernatural affliction. Others show them as helpful spirits who aid humans in their time of need.
Now, that's gotta be like one of the best ways to catch a male. I'm not gonna lie, male trap. A seductive, beautiful Japanese woman telling me to come in her house? I might get my neck choked out, no gap. I'm telling you, any guy in here right now that think that he wouldn't fall for that is lying. If you're sitting with your husband, boyfriend, brother, friend, watching this right now, ask him, would you fall for that? You would. Don't lie. Don't lie, bro. Don't lie. You know you would fall for that.
The worst ways people passed away. Part 2. This is Hugo Abalos. In 2013, he was working his factory job just like any other day, but little did anyone know is that something would go terribly wrong. He was operating a meat blender, but suddenly he lost balance, falling face first into it, dying instantly. This photo shows a Chinese college student named Deng just before going on a trip to the top of a mountain. While at the top, she was taking selfies, but suddenly she lost balance, tripping over a metal railing, plummeting to her death. In 2008, a Chinese zookeeper was tending to the crocodiles as usual, but little did anyone know is that something would go horribly wrong. One of the crocodiles got a bit too close and bit him. Suddenly, 4 more joined in. This would ultimately lead to his death.
My boy got gang hit by all those crocodiles. I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking about the human meat grinder one, and it low-key had me thinking, like, if a human fell in there, obviously meat would come out, right? But like, does that mean there's a chance that some of the meat that we eat might be human meat? I don't know, maybe they shut it down or like, nah, so I'm probably wrong, honestly. What do you think? Put it down in the comments. What do you think?
Alright guys, let's talk about these timeout dolls. Behind me is a timeout doll. These were used way back in the day, over 30-40 years ago. Usually someone's grandparents would have this, and if the kid was misbehaving, they'd be like, look at the doll, that's gonna be you soon. Or they would put this doll in timeout with the kid, which is even weirder. A lot of the newer generation who got the timeout dolls do not like them for obvious reasons. These things are so creepy. This is the front of the timeout doll. It literally has no face. This is even more unsettling when you consider the fact that a lot of people claim that these things would run around the house and move. Granted, a lot of kids saw this, so it might be their imagination running wild, but just the thought of that makes me uneasy. In 2020, pranks were being played on this town, and these timeout dolls were just all over the place trying to scare people. Let me play that clip for you guys.
It would be stealing your sleep. Dolls are just creepy in general to me. I don't like them. About a week ago, a toy meant for play started causing panic across Festus and Crystal City as one after another kept popping up in
Yeah, it's a definite no from me. Let me know what you guys think about these timeout dolls in the comment section below, or if you've seen it in real life.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief. That doll does look kind of creepy. I don't even think it has a face, dude. It kind of looked like Luffy from One Piece. If you know what One Piece is, put it down in the comments. All my anime fans in here, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, that one was kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie.
This creepy doll is hiding a dark secret. Let's talk about a Christmas horror game where a gift turns into something much more sinister. September 7th. Full game playthrough right here. In this horror game, you play as a student who lives in an apartment complex that has seen better days. You return home one night to find that your friend Anya had left you a present, but it's a creepy looking elf doll. Well, you don't want to get rid of it because it was a gift, right? Once the doll enters the home, things start to change. Disturbing things start happening around the house, and you wonder if the doll is behind it. And you notice that the doll itself starts to move. You call Anya to figure out what's going on with this present she gave you, but her response chilled me to the bone. Anya never left you a present. Fair warning, this game has some legitimately terrifying jump scares, so if that's not your thing, be warned before watching or playing.
Yeah, you know, I think I'm good. I don't think I want to play the game.
Megalodon is still living at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. We know that this massive beast went extinct about 3.6 million years ago, but recently a picture went viral on the internet. Researchers were studying the South Atlantic Ocean's dark bloom when they took this image from a NASA satellite near Sao Paulo. When they zoomed into it, they got this. It supposedly seems like a shark, and if we compare it to this photo of 40 feet school buses taken at the same resolution, the shark is approximately 2 buses in length and is said to be a 70 feet long shark. Can this really be the Megalodon? And now you know that.
How they know it wasn't a whale though? I feel like if a whale could turn into a shark, like I'm talking like the blue whale, like the big blue whale, like I feel like if a big blue whale could turn into a shark, then they would say it's a Megalodon, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, maybe the Megalodon is still here, who knows? If you think it's still here, put it down in the comments.
This is fun. If you ever smell flowers randomly in the house and there's no flowers around you, that's a sign a spirit is coming to visit you. No. Check this out. So me and my mom, we were washing dishes, right? Yeah. Now, our soap does not smell like flowers. Me and her were like doing dishes, we're laughing, like having a great time. And we're like, I go, you smell that? It smells like flowers. Like, it smells like a garden, like a straight up garden. And my mom goes, yeah, what's that smell? My mom's face goes like this. I'm like, what? She goes, they say when you smell flowers, it's someone that passed.
Yeah. Like a relative to you or random?
It has something to do with, you know how at a funeral, what do you give the body?
Flowers.
Give the body flowers.
Yeah.
That's the last thing that they're with. And my mom, right away, she went and called my Lola. And she's like, what is the death anniversary of Lola? Like, what is the death anniversary?
Yo, that's crazy. If you ever smelt flowers while doing anything, put it down in the comments. That's actually really cool, I'm not gonna lie. RIP to everyone that has died in the last 1,000 plus years. May their souls rest in peace.
My uncle, John Kennedy, he realized early on that the purpose of the CIA and the intelligence apparatus was to create a constant pipeline of new wars. Eisenhower, who was the outgoing president, gave what is probably the most important speech in American history, which was, where he warned against the military-industrial complex. I was at my uncle's inauguration. I was in Washington that day, a 6-year-old boy. And 2 months later, the military and intelligence came to him and said, we got to invade Cuba. And he was like, I'm not going to Cuba, and I'm not going to let the military. And they said, well, we got all these Cubans trained, and they're going to go attack Castro. And he said, well, the U.S. government can't be doing that. I don't like what Castro's doing down there, but it's not the United States' job to dictate what kind of governments other countries have. And they said, well, as soon as they land, there's going to be a big revolution. Everybody's going to rise up and they're going to overthrow Castro. And he said, well, you can't use the U.S. military. And they ended up bringing those guys over. And in the middle of it, in the night, they came to him and said, they're getting wiped out on the beach and you need to send in the military and invade. And he said, we're not going to do it. He stepped out of that meeting and he realized they had been lying to him and trying to trick him. And he said, I want to take the CIA and shatter it into 1,000 pieces and scatter it to the winds. For the next 1,000 days of his presidency, he was at war with his military and intelligence apparatus. They tried to get him to go into Laos. He said no. They tried to get him to go into Vietnam. They said that we need 250,000 combat troops. He refused. Everybody around him wanted him to go into Vietnam. He sent 16,000 military advisors. They weren't allowed to fight. Many of them did. They violated the rules of engagement. In October of 1963, he heard some of his Green Berets had been killed over there. And he said, I want a total casualty list from Vietnam. And his aide came to him and said, 75 Americans have died. He said, that's too many. And he signed that day a national security order ordering all troops out of Vietnam, U.S. troops. And then a month later, he was killed.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of conspiracies around JFK. Those are honestly some of my favorite conspiracies. But damn, it looks like he was kind of like hands off as a president. He wasn't so involved in world politics compared to like his actual country. What do you think? Do you think that the CIA killed JFK? Or do you think that it was just a random assassination by Lee Harvey Oswald, as they claim? But if you liked the video, please like the video. Remember, the like goal is 200. I asked for 100 last video and we got to 1,000. That's literally 10 times what I asked for. and I love all of you for that. We're making this YouTube goal happen. We're creating a crazy family on YouTube. Follow me on all social media platforms. Thank you for watching. Love you.